I don't want to be insulting the freedom of speech. Everyone has the right to freedom of speech, and it's good to stand by that principle. But these people are not standing by that principle. They're standing by the principle of hatred for other people. That's their guiding light. That's what they do. They are intentionally trying to provoke a response from the Muslim community. And unfortunately, this was predictable. And you know that because the police told them in order to hold this event, they would have to have $10,000 worth of security on hand. They had a SWAT team outfitted like it was Baghdad. So obviously someone knew that there was a likelihood that some stupid person would do this.
All right, joining us on the Malzberg panel, folks, as we welcome you back, Jessica Tarlov, Democratic political consultant, political strategist at Schoen, LLC, and Ford O'Connell, Republican strategist, political analyst, and author of Hail Mary, the 10-Step Playbook for Republican Recovery. All right, let me start with you, Jessica, and before we get to what Senator Johnson said in the previous segment, I mean, this kind of analysis that they shouldn't have held this event in Garland because they knew somebody might take offense to it and there might be violence. Isn't that the world turned upside down?
I think so. I mean, I think that they should have had the event. They probably should have done better. But it's a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda at this point. And this is the world that we're living in, and we have to be prepared that something like this could happen at any time. I mean, we had lone wolf attacks. Yes, this was more organized than that, or seemingly at this point. I know we're still getting information, but we can do better. Our response can be tougher, but we shouldn't be canceling free speech events. I don't believe in that.
Right. Ford, some on the left are just nuts with this, that, you know, why provoke and antagonize the radical Islamists?
Well, that's the faux outrage of Democrats who are going to make America less free. If the First Amendment cannot protect free fringe speech like this, then what's the point of having the First Amendment? And I think that was the Supreme Court's case in the Westover Baptist Church, where they ruled 8-1 in favor of the First Amendment. Let me say this. I don't care if these guys were connected to ISIS or not. The problem here is I have radicalized Americans within our borders committing these acts and using our laws against us. We have a problem at home in a sleeping giant, and we don't know how to track them, and we don't know how to stop them, and that's what scares me.
All right. Well, Ford, let me ask you. Senator Johnson, who's the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, is on the Foreign Relations Committee as well, said we need boots on the ground in over there against ISIS so that ISIS will not come over here.
Well, he's half right. We do need boots on the ground because basically appeasing that mob in the Middle East is only going to allow it to grow larger, and you need to cut the head off the snake. My problem is, even if you do cut the head off the snake, these guys are so masterful at using the internet and social media, they're still going to have a reach regardless of what their stake is in the Middle East, because at the end of the day, they're bent on anarchy and mayhem.
Jessica?
I don't disagree. This is an entire segment that Ford and I are in agreement on. It's
well,
super exciting.
Do you think we need boots on the ground over there?
No, I wouldn't go there. He said half right. I think that we do need to amp up our presence, and we need to be more supportive of Middle East forces who are sending troops in, et cetera. But I think the point is they are using the internet to their advantage. They're using our own tools, and that's not to say that it's the fault of the internet companies. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, this is YouTube's fault because these videos get up there even for a second, and that's absolutely not the case. I mean, all of these corporations.
Let me add one more point. I do agree with you about the internet, but they're also, once they're inside our borders, they're using our domestic laws and protections to basically continue to push their anarchy.
It's not just an issue of them being inside our borders. They're taking our people. I mean, we're not talking about just people who are being shipped over.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, that was fairly good, fairly a nice, happy kumbaya moments there in the first segment of the panel with Jessica and Ford.
So just bring up Hillary Clinton and all break loose.
Funny you should mention that, because in the next segment we got Mike Huckabee announcing for president today. We've got Bill Clinton's interview with NBC where he spoke Clintonese, and I mean, as well as he ever has, and the latest numbers on Hillary. We'll try to squeeze it all in when the panel returns. Don't go away.
I don't think that I did anything that was against the interests of the United States.
Do you understand, though, that the perception itself is a problem?
No.
You don't?
No. Look, I don't want to get into the weeds here. I'm not responsible for anybody else's perception. I asked Hillary about this, and she said, you know, no one's ever tried to influence me by helping you. No one has even suggested they have a shred of evidence to that effect.
No, here it is. There's like 3 of them in here. Clinton speak. We welcome back the Malzberg panel, Jessica Tarlov, Ford O'Connell. First of all, I don't think I did anything against the interests of the national security interests of the United States. I don't think. Number two, I asked Hillary about this, and she told me no one's ever tried to get to her through me. And by the way, she also said there's not a shred of evidence of it. Ford, my God, this is what the meaning of the word is all over again.
Well, you even forgot the best line. This is so Clintonian, it's beyond belief. When he said, I did nothing knowingly inappropriate, who speaks like that? You just flat out come out and say, I did nothing inappropriate. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants to parse every word and bog you down in everything and play the Jedi mind trick and say, guess what? There's nothing to see here. We're the Clintons. If you can't trust us, who can you trust in politics?
And Jessica, I mean, aren't you relieved that he asked Hillary, and Hillary said, no, Bill, no one's ever tried to get to me through you as far as I know. And so that's not a shred of evidence of it, Bill.
I mean, it's really not about that. I personally am getting sick of the argument that Democrats are being forced to make over and over again, having to say there's no smoking gun. I don't believe there is a smoking gun here. I'm not saying there weren't inappropriate things that went on that I wish it hadn't been any different, but this is the reality that we're living in. Bill Clinton speaks like Bill Clinton. Big shocker. Get over it. The man is masterful. He's a wonderful tactician. He's a great politician. He will be an asset to her in her campaign. And Republicans and disenchanted Democrats and everybody's just going to have to get used to it. I mean, they are here to stay. She's still leading in the polls. Yes, the honest and trustworthy numbers are going down.
25% in the Wall Street Journal think that she's honest and trustworthy. 25%.
86% of Democrats are still enthusiastically going.
She has to get another 25% of the general electorate.
You don't think she's going to pick it up? You don't think the Republicans aren't going to self-destruct with this many candidates? What, they have 6 now.
You mean the media will make them? Go ahead, Ford.
This is all about the Clinton scandal manual. There is not a shred of evidence out there. I didn't do anything wrong. Then I'm going to attack the person who did Clinton Cash, the Washington Post, Fox News, Reuters, whomever. And then after we've had this debate and I've turned you around sideways, then I'm going to say this is old news. The problem here that Bill Clinton missed, and it's a flat-out lie, is that he says there's nothing new here since Hillary Clinton ran in 2008. The problem was she became Secretary of State after 2008, so therefore the perception problem is very real. Whether or not there's a smoking gun, I don't know, but guess what? She has a trust deficit problem, and that's going to haunt her all the way to Election Day.
The smoking gun was erased in the email.
You don't know that.
No, but you don't know that, but she had no right to erase it.
Just this week, she said she's going in front of the Benghazi committee, right? Yes, she's only going once, and Trey Gowdy asked her to go twice, but she's going. We don't know if it's going to be public or not at this point. She is making an effort. I will say, though,
all she has to do is continue to put herself in Clintonian knots, and by the end of this, there's going to be no knowns and no unknowns. And the only thing I know is the Republicans going to win the White House in 2016.
All right,
but you know what gets me, and this is very touching because I really don't want to choke up here, but Hillary Clinton has figured out a way to use Mother's Day to raise some cash. If you contribute to the Clinton campaign, you increase your chances of having Hillary make a Mother's Day call on your behalf. I am so touched by this, Ford. I don't know what to say. It's Lincoln bedroom-esque, if you will.
It is Lincoln bedroom-esque, but as a campaign consultant, I'm going to tell you it's brilliant because there's a lot of people out there who want to hobnob with celebrity, and they will give money and their email address. She's learned how to market her own celebrity, and this is a brilliant idea, and frankly, guess what? She needs unmarried women under 50, and this is a great way to make them feel good on Mother's Day.
Jessica, how much are you giving, and do you hope to get the call?
I don't want to talk about that. Does my mom hope to get the call? Yeah, I think so, but she wouldn't mind if Bernie Sanders called her too. But I will say, I mean, who wants a call from Jeb Bush? Who wants a call from Marco Rubio? I mean, these people have
He's like
no
Wilford
appeal
Brimley,
on
like
side.
on hemorrhoids.
Wait. First
Sorry,
of all,
Why would you want Bernie Sanders to call you? He looks like Wilford Brimley on hemorrhoids.
Oh, be nice. I love listening to Bernie Sanders. Not only for the Brooklyn thing. I mean, he has some great ideas. He really believes in them. I love that he's going to do this.
Are you telling me Bernie's from Brooklyn?
Are you telling me you don't know that?
I don't know that. I'm from Brooklyn.
And
I never saw him.
Have you not heard the man?
I never saw him in Brooklyn.
He just went to Vermont now.
And this is a faux primary, and the fact that you guys are throwing Bernie Sanders up there and calling this real competition against Hillary Clinton makes the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight look like
Ford, love talking to you. We'll do it again. Thank you. Ted Poe, Congressman Ted Poe, is next, ladies and gentlemen. But first, as you may or may not know, we brought back our viewer call-in segment, but you have to reach out to us. It's kind of like getting a call from Hillary in reverse somehow. I don't even know what I'm saying. But if you want to participate in our viewer call-in segment, give me an email. Drop me an email. Call Steve at Newsmax.com. Call Steve at Newsmax.com. Tell us how we could reach you, and we'll get in touch with you because we want to hear from you.